Hare Krishna. Here we are, another reading, another day, another reading.
The Canto 3, Chapter 17, Text 16. The Victory of Hiranyaksha.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 16. These two demons who appeared in ancient times soon began to exhibit uncommon bodily features. They had steel-like frames which began to grow just like two great mountains. Purport. There are two classes of men in the world. One is called the demon and the other is called the demigod. The demigods concern themselves with the spiritual upliftment of human society, whereas the demons are concerned with physical and material upliftment. The two demons born of deity began to make their bodies as strong as iron frames, and they were so tall that they seemed to touch outer space. They were decorated with valuable ornaments, and they thought that this was success in life. Originally it was planned that Jaya and Vijaya, the two doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, were to take birth in this material world, where by the curse of the sages they were to play the part of always being angry with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As demoniac persons, they became so angry that they were not concerned with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but simply with physical comforts and physical upliftment.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I've got a lot of thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
We just about this, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Anyway, it seems like even though they were residents of Vaikuntha, but once they fell, then they came under the under the illusory energy, and therefore they kind of forgot that they were just playing some part, which in one sense I guess would need to be required. You'd have to become covered if you're going to actually fight with the Lord and blaspheme the Lord and try to kill him and kill his devotees and things like that. So
that's also part of the plan. Leela.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's correct.
That's correct, is it? Okay. 17. Their bodies became so tall that they seemed to kiss the sky with the crests of their gold crowns. They blocked the view of all directions, and while walking shook the earth at every step. Their arms were adorned with brilliant bracelets, and they stood as if covering the sky with their waists. Covering the sun with their waists, thank you, which were bound with excellent and beautiful girdles. Purport. In the demoniac way of civilization, people are interested in getting a body constructed in such a way that when they walk on the street, the earth will tremble, and when they stand, it will appear that they cover the sun and the vision of the four directions. If a race appears strong in body, their country is materially considered to be among the highly advanced nations of the world. That last sentence is a little strange, but if a race means like, I guess, Indian, African, American, Chinese, Japanese, like that kind of thing. If they appear to be strong in body, their country is materially considered to be among the highly advanced nations of the world. Like that, interesting.
The Western maybe country as opposed to the African or Indian.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Text 18. Kashyap Prajapati, the creator of the living entities, gave his twin sons their names. The one who was born first he named Hiranyaksha, and the one who was first conceived by deity he named Hiranyakashipu. Purport. There is an authoritative Vedic literature called Pindu Siddhi, in which the scientific understanding of pregnancy is very nicely described. It is stated that when the male secretion enters the menstrual flux in the uterus in 2 successive drops, the mother develops 2 embryos in her womb, and she brings forth twins in a reverse order to that in which they were first conceived. The child conceived first is born later, and the one conceived later is brought forth first. The first child conceived in the womb lives behind the second child, so when the birth takes place, the second child appears first, and the first child appears second. In this case, it is understood that Hiranyaksha, the second child conceived, was delivered first, whereas Hiranyakashipu, the child who was behind him, having been conceived first, was born second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Any thoughts?
Not really.
I think it's interesting how that's explained and described, that basically the oldest one is kind of situated further back inside the womb. So it's kind of, I guess, like the semen and the egg would have met there, and then that's where it becomes kind of lodged in the womb. But then the other child, the egg would have traveled on further, and then that one would have gotten conceived, so it would have been further further into the womb. I mean, yeah, anyway, it's quite interesting. So it means if there are twins, the first one born, or triplets, I guess it goes the same way, the first one born is the youngest, actually, although probably, according to Western calculation, whoever comes out of the womb first would be considered the oldest. But the actual fact, according to this Pinda Siddhi Vedic text, is just kind of the opposite. But it just made me think, like, how difficult it must be just having one child in the womb. What to speak of having 2 or 3, or some people have given birth to like 4 or 5 children inside of your womb. I mean, that's like bizarre, you know? Anyway, there you go. So text 19.
Yeah.
The elder child, Hiranyakashipu, was unafraid of death from anyone within the 3 worlds, because he received a benediction from Lord Brahma. He was proud and puffed up due to this benediction, and was able to bring all 3 planetary systems under his control. As will be revealed in later chapters, Hiranyakashipu underwent severe austerities and penance to satisfy Brahma, and thus receive a benediction of immortality. Actually, it is impossible even for Lord Brahma to give anyone the benediction of becoming immortal. But indirectly, Hiranyakashipu received the benediction that no one within this material world would be able to kill him. In other words, because he originally came from the abode of Vaikuntha, he was not to be killed by anyone within this material world. The Lord desired to appear himself to kill him. One may be very proud of his material advancement and knowledge, but he cannot be immune to the 4 principles of material existence, namely birth, death, old age, and disease. It was the Lord's plan to teach people that even Hiranyakashipu, who was so powerful and strongly built, could not live more than his destined duration of life. One may become as strong and puffed up as Hiranyakashipu and bring under his control all the 3.
Oh,
goodness.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
Oh dear.
Gets Buddy in the picture. Oh, goodness. Okay. One may become as strong and puffed up as Hiranyakashipu and bring under his control all the three worlds, but there is no possibility of continuing life eternally or keeping the conquered booty forever. Booty, that's like a pirate term, isn't it? Of course, it's used in different ways these days, but so many emperors have ascended to power, and they are now lost in oblivion. That is the history of the world. Thoughts?
Well, it's true. I think we already discussed it. This material world is ruthless in doing her job. Yes, her job. You know, all these film stars, pop stars, people idolise them. Most leave quite embarrassingly, you know. Face down in vomit, face up in the bathtub, high on drugs, low on self-esteem, blow your brains out. Elvis died in the toilet or something, I think, you know, eating a hamburger. All these people you grow up thinking of, they're so cool, they're this. They're nothing. Material nature just blows them away, you know. They have a little bit of fun for a while. So here we see Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. They'll also be sorted out directly by God. Yeah, there's nothing there's nothing worshipable in this material world in that sense, in terms of personalities that are not worshipable.
There's nothing. Hare Krishna. So we just had some technical difficulty there, apart from me kicking the camera, and then somehow it just turned off. So I think the last thing that Bhav was explaining was how there's nothing worshipable in this material world that's not worshipable in this material world. Something to that effect. So anyway, we're just going to. I think we'll just go ahead and conclude here, since we've had so many technical difficulties today. And where were we? We've just finished text 19.
Yeah.
So we'll pick up again next time on text 20. So it was just a bit short and sweet today. So thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in again. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare